there, I'm Dave Allen, I'm Good and Geeky, and this is my office for the day. Lovely or what? Well, my office is actually inside the car, looking at that lovely view. And what we're going to do today is we're going to have a look at making a design using the warp tool and the knife tool and show you how those tools work. Let's get in there and see what we can do with it. So I sliced and I diced and I moved things around and put effects on various places and threw in a lot of purple, and this is what we finished up with. Let's get started. Now what I could do with this here is I could basically get the shape of this just exactly how I want it to start with. So let's say I want it there, make it a little bit bigger that way. And then I'm going to put a warp on it, and it's still text at the moment. Now I'm finding that it doesn't really work so well if I keep it as text, because I'll just show you now what happens. So if I've got this as text and I put a warp onto this here, let's go for the quad warp, and I'm going to take that up there and I'm going to take that down there. So that's the shape I'm looking for the final bit of text. But every time I want to do something with this, it's going to be sort of messed about because the warp is just on the text there, on this rectangle part here. If I try doing any moving around with this object, it's going to mess it all up. So if I get this here now and I start moving it around, it's all a mess, isn't it? Just doesn't work. So what I found works better is actually to, let's do Command Z on this a couple of times to get back to the start again, is if I convert this to curves first of all. So I'm going to convert that to curves, and then I'm going to put the warp on it, and after that I'll be able to do what I want with it. So let's go to warp and put the quad warp on there, and I'm going to take this up that way and bring this down here to the bottom. And now when I do any work with this here, it's going to be able to be changed and whatever else. So what I want to do now is I want to convert that to curves, so that's taking the warp off it, and now I've got the basic shape of what I want there, so I can work with these as I see fit. Now then, the next thing I want to do is I want to grab the knife tool. Let's get the knife tool from here, and with the knife tool you've got a few options here. So let's turn the stabilizer off first and show you what we've got there. So let's select the objects over on this side here. So this is the slice, and I'm going to go to the knife tool now. Now I've got the knife tool, I can, let's zoom in on this here, and if I just do sort of this here, it looks okay, but it's not really sort of going to be that straight. I mean, I've got this sort of set in here so that it's going to be rope mode, and it'll sort of give it a bit of stabilisation. Let's do Command Z out of that there. Let's put the stabiliser on it, and there's a couple of possibilities. There's that one there, which is the rope mode, and it makes it sort of smoother and so on. And then you've got this one here, which is a different sort of mode. The input positions are averaged over a flexible window, producing a smooth flowing input. Okay, well, I'm really not sure which one I want out of these, but I'll tell you what I don't want. I don't want this auto close on here, because if I got auto close on here, I do that, it creates a sort of odd sort of shape in here like this, look. And that's not what I'm looking for. I want to just do a straightforward cut across here. I don't want it to close up the shape, okay? So let's turn that off. Let's go back. We'll leave the stabilizer on, and I'll leave it in the rope mode there. And I'm going to go to back to where I started again. And let's zoom out a bit. Could put wireframe mode onto this here. Let's have wireframe mode. See what we're doing a bit better. And what I want is I want a curve which is going to go across these five objects. So I'm going to start here, come around here, and go like that. That's pretty good, that'll do nicely. So let's do this here, through there and through there. Okay, that's looking good. Nice. So what I can do now is with this here, I can start working with these objects as straightforward shapes. So I've got this selected here, and I go to this one here, this one, this one, this one, and this one. What I'm going to do is going to use the arrow key and move them up just a wee bit to separate them from the ones below, because that's what I want to do for my design. And then with these ones at the bottom here, do the same sort of thing here with this. I'm going to select all 5 of these here. Okay, I've got to actually select on the line here because I've got the wireframe going there. So let's select on there. I can't actually select within the object itself. I have to get the wireframe of it to be able to select it, and I'm going to just use the arrow key and bring that down a wee bit. So that's start where I want it there. So I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to get my knife tool again. Actually, I better first select these things here. Let's do a marquee select of diced. My word diced selected, and now I'm going to go to the knife tool, And I'm going to follow on from this line here and go through this here. So I'm going to go through here and then like that there. And then this one here, I'm going to do something similar. I'm going to start here, go up and then down, and then across there. And that's about right. That'll do nicely. And maybe I could have another slice through this as well. So perhaps if I want to have another slice, I can, well, I've got this one here selected. I'm going to start here and come round and down and then up and have that diced and sliced across that way as well. So I've got a good bit of dicing and slicing going on. So let's go to my move tool now. Select these ones here. And I've still got to get that one there, bottom part of the D. Let's get that. And I'm going to move those down. Now what I want to do with this now is I want to sort of move these sort of shapes around a little bit, and I could do it in two ways. I can do it so that I move all of them together. Let go of the trackpad a bit too soon there. I'm going to have to get a mouse to work with this. So I want to get that bit there, and I'm just going to turn that one there slightly. And then I'm going to move it up a wee bit as well, just to change the way that it fits there. Then I'm going to get this one here. And I'm going to turn this one around this way a wee bit and move it up a bit. Okay, so we've got some sort of bit of odd sort of movements going on there. And then what I want to do with these ones at the bottom here is I want to move these individually. So what I'm going to do with this here is I'm just going to get this here and move that one that way a wee bit. This one, I'm going to move it the other way a little bit. This one that way as well. So basically I'm just moving this here just to get something just kind of looking how I want it. I mean, it doesn't have to be just sort of moving shapes like that. What I can do is maybe I want that one just a wee bit bigger so it takes a bit more space up. This one here, I could turn that just a wee bit and then change the size of it a wee bit as well. Maybe not like that, maybe like that. Maybe I could do with turning off the snapping there, because that's annoying. That's annoying me a little bit when I'm moving these objects. So this one here, I want to move this one around a bit as well. Now then, what I want to do with this one here I want to have bigger, and what I want to do as well is just make a little bit more shape in the middle for it. So I'm going to select all the stuff over on this side here, and then I'm going to move it out a wee bit. I think that's looking a bit sort of squashed up on the right hand side as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring it out a wee bit as well, just to make it a bit bigger. In fact, I want to do the same over on this side here a bit as well. So let's grab these here and grab them and bring them out a bit. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this one in the middle here and I'm going to enlarge it, because I want it so that it takes up more space in the middle like that there. This is the way I want my design to work, and I think I'll just squeeze it in just a bit and centre it up. That's kind of where I want it. That's looking good now. Okay, so that's good. Now then, moving on, let's put some colours into these things here. So let's go from the wireframe view over onto this view here. Now what I want to do is I want to put a gradient colour in there. So I'm going to go to my fill tool over here, and I'm going to start over on this side here, and I'm going to go over to that side there and put that in there. I'm going to change the colours on either end of that there. In fact, what I'll do is I'll add another colour in the middle as well. So let's put a colour there in the middle. I'll leave that colour as it is, and then I'll go to the end here and I want to change that colour, and I want to make that sort of darker. So let's move that over there to make it darker. Let's get this side over here. I want to change that colour there. I want to make that darker as well. Okay, so that's that part done. Now what I want to do is I want to go to the next level down. I'll select these manually. Let's go with the move tool. Select this one here. Okay, so let's put some colour in there, see what I've got selected. Yay, everything's selected that I want selected. Perfect. Now what I want to do is I want to go to this fill tool over here and get this fill tool, and I'm going to start over this side and come over here, and I want a similar colour to what I've got there, the sort of purpley sort of colours, but a little bit different. Okay, so that's looking good. We've got some nice bits of colour going in there. That's great. Now what I want to do is I want to select off that there and start working with the next one there. So let's go into this one here. We're going for purple today. Everything's got to be purple. Put a darker purple than that, so let's put that as a darker purple there. So I want to put an effect onto this here. Let's go to quick effects, and I want to put an outer shadow on this here. So let's put an outer shadow and then put some offset on there. So let's get the offset going right across to there. Let's boost up the opacity, and then I'm going to change the radius so it's a bit softer, so get that bit softer, so that's good. So once I've got this set up here, then what you can do is I can do a copy of that there. So I'm doing Command and C on that one there. Now what I want to do is I'm going to select these other portions down here. So I want to select that. So this is a handy sort of little tool that you can use to copy things across from one thing to another, and you can copy and paste the effects across. So let's grab all of those ones there, and I'm going to tell it to paste effects. So how cool is that then? You can paste effects like that. That's kind of cool. I like that. Okay, so there's my ampersand. I've unlocked it now, and I want to see what's going on with it. So let's put a different colour in there so I can see better what's going on. Okay, lovely. Now what I want to do is I want to bring this up a bit so that it's a little bit larger across there. And now I'm going to do some shapes and some cutting with this here. So what I do is I want to do some cutting out of the shapes that are underneath. But I don't want to use the whole of this bit here. I want to do it with an outline. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put an outline there first. So let's give it a stroke. So let's give it a stroke of that much. That'll be good. 24-point stroke, and we'll do it so that it's pointy corners on the ends there, and get rid of the mitre on it off it as well. So let's put put 9 in there. Should get rid of the mitres, and I get some nice sharp corners on there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell it to expand the stroke. So expanding the stroke is in fact, let's convert it to curves first of all. I don't need it as text anymore, so convert to curves. Back into layer again, and this time I'm going to expand stroke. So I've got the stroke expanded. I've still got the white bit there, which is the ampersand. So I've still got the white bit underneath there. So there's my white bit there, look, and I've still got this bit here. What I want to do, I think, is I want to make sure that white bit there is locked, and also I want to make it so that it is not visible. Okay, so I can work on these bits here a little bit better. Okay, so I've got this stroke done here, and what I want to do now is I want to do some cutting into these shapes underneath there. To select the shapes I want to cut into. So anywhere I've got this ampersand going over the top, I'm going to select those bits there. Let's select these bits here, underneath here, and so I've got to select that bit there too. Okay, and in fact the ampersand goes over these bits here as well. And this bit here, in fact that bit there as well. So I've got those bits selected. Now what I want to do is I want to go into the shape builder tool, because that's the easiest way to do this. I can choose bits. I can choose to take the bits I want and leave the bits, other bits behind. So let's go to this one here. So now I can choose the bits I want to keep and the bits I want to get rid of. So I want to get rid of that bit there, and that bit there, and that bit there. Let's get rid of this bit here as well. I'm cutting that out. So I'm cutting that out. What bits do I want to cut out of this one here? So let's see that one there. I want to cut that shape out of that there. That bit there, that bit there. I want to get rid of. Here I want to get rid of. Okay, that's looking kind of good, kind of the way I want it now. I can always go back in and do some more cutting out of these shapes afterwards if I want to, but that's pretty much as I want it cut out at the moment. Okay, so now I want to bring this sort of ampersand curve back in again. Okay, so there's my ampersand there, unlock it, and I can put it back in. And what I want to do is with that is I want to stick it down at the bottom of the thing. So let's put it at the bottom of everything. So I'll move to back with that one there. And now I want to put a colour into that as well. So let's get some colour in there with this colour fill tool here. Fill tool selected. Bring this down through here. And now I'm going to choose some colours. Okay, so I've got some colours going on there that I kind of like. Okay, that's basically the design as I want it. So I'm going to grab that, and then with the move tool I'm going to move it across just a bit. So move that across there. Now what I can do is I can do Command J again, and that makes more of these lines there and equidistance across them as well. So one more. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select each one of these so I can make them all a little bit longer to go down the length of the whole of the ampersand. Okay, so let's zoom out of that there. And now I can just grab this, move that down to get it just exactly where I want it. Now I need to do some more sort of cutting out. So I want it so that it fits into this shape a little bit better. Okay, so I've got those selected. select that there, and then I'm going to use this tool up here, and I'm going to tell it to subtract, and that's not subtracted what I wanted. Let's do Command Z on this one here. So I kind of got the shapes there that I wanted. All right, we'll do some shape editing. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to select this shape here. Okay, so you can see that shape that I got selected now. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to do the shape builder tool and then get rid of the bits that I don't want. So I want to take that out, that, and I'm going to make a rectangle across the top of here. Let's get the move tool, line it up with the edges. In fact, I want to put that on there, the snapping tool. So I got to snap into the edges, get this corner around here, and then I'm going to bring this corner down to the bottom there, and it should snap to the corner. That's lovely. Now I want to put that at the back of everything. So there we go, at the back of everything there, and we've got a nice bit of purple going on there. Don't quite want that purple in there. Let's do some changing of the colours there. So that's the design finished. There's no telling when you might finish one of these things. You could just keep going. But anyway, that'll do for now. Don't forget to add a like to the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye now.